This video will be discussing the top 5 false claims made by former president and current presidential candidate Donald Trump during his campaign trail in Waco, Texas. For more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Firstly, Donald Trump claimed that the 2020 election was rigged. He said that, "We won in 2016. We won by much more in 2020, but it was rigged, it's a rigged system. Like we had a rigged election." This claim is false, as Donald Trump lost the 2020 election fair and square to Democrat Joe Biden, who won the election with a 306 to 232 victory in the Electoral College, earning him over 7 million more votes more than Donald Trump himself. President Biden also won with a good margin of 51.3% to 46.8%. Next, Trump claimed at the rally that the US had a trade deficit with China which was more than $600 billion. This claim is also false, as it is argued that the US has never had a $600 billion trade deficit with China. This is because even if only the trade in goods are counted, and don't count the services trade in which the US runs a surplus with China, it is believed that the pre-Trump era for a goods deficit with China was about $367 billion in 2015. The goods deficit reached new heights of about $418 billion under Trump in 2018, which then later went back to below $400 billion in the years following. Thirdly, during the 2020 election, one of Trump's key slogans for his election campaign was "Promises made, promises kept." This was of course in reference to the wall being built in Mexico. He again mentioned this during the rally in Texas, said that, "I built hundreds of miles of wall and completed that task, totally as promised." Again, it is argued that this claim is false, as according to the official border wall status report that was written by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, it said only 458 miles of the wall had been completed and there were 280 miles more of construction that needed to be completed. In the report it also said that, of those 280, about 74 miles of barriers were in the pre-construction phase and have not yet been awarded, in locations where no barriers currently exist, and that 206 miles were currently under contract, in place of dilapidated and outdated designs and in locations where no barriers previously existed. Fourthly, when it comes to inflation, Trump claimed at the rally that, "We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years. This claim is again argued to be false, as in the past 50 years, the highest level of year-over-year inflation that has ever hit in the US was 14.8%, which was in the early 1980s. The highest level that has recently occurred was around 9.1% in June last year, which declined to 6% in February 2023, which still isn't close to the 1980s high. Finally, Trump mentioned at the rally that after the US withdrew from Afghanistan, the US left behind $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment. This claim is again false, as although a lot of military equipment has been provided to Afghanistan's government forces by the US, which they did abandon after the Taliban took over. The U.S. Defense Department estimates that this equipment would be worth up to $7.1 billion, and that between 2005 to 2021, $18.6 billion worth of military equipment was provided by the U.S. to Afghan forces, and then after withdrawal, the remaining equipment that was left behind was deemed to be inoperable before the U.S. withdrew. The $85 billion figure is used, which is believed to be a more rounded-up figure. The real number may be closer to $83 billion. This number is the total amount of money Congress has appropriated during the war to a fund supporting the Afghan security forces. And then a minority of the funding was spent towards equipment. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comment section what you think of these top 5 false claims made by Donald Trump at his rally in Texas.